Hello. Hey, what's up, YouTube? All right, it looks like we're streaming. Good evening, good evening. Hope you guys are doing great. This is like a totally impromptu live chat, so I'm just gonna kind of give a second for people to log in. If you're watching this on replay, apologies for the beginning being a little bit stale, but I would love to just kind of wait for people to come in before I start talking. Hello, good evening, good evening. Hey, thank you. All right, well, I hope you guys are doing great. I wanted to have a live chat and just kind of talk to you guys. I don't have my kids tonight, so as always, these are like perfect evenings for me to get on live for a little bit and chat with you guys. Brian is still at work, so I've got a little bit of time to burn and figured let's just chat. And I had a really good topic. So hopefully you could see the topic on your timeline when you clicked into this video. But I wanted to talk about getting your degree and if a degree is a waste of money. I want to talk about undergrad as well as MBA and just kind of give you like my perspective and some food for thought and maybe some tips that can be helpful because I know a lot of people really struggle with this. Also, people who have graduated may struggle with this, as well as people who are thinking about if they want to pursue, getting a degree or also going back to school. So I was like, let me get back to my roots because y'all know this is like these are kind of topics are like near and dear to my heart. I've had a lot of experience in my career and I just feel like it would be remiss for me to not share my experience with you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I, just kind of like touch on this stuff a little bit. I was actually talking with my brother earlier, which is what kind of made me think, this is perfect timing to have this topic with you guys because my brother is currently trying to decide if he wants to go back to school to get his MBA. Excuse me. And I'm trying to convince him to do it because I feel like from a financial perspective, it's one of those things that can help propel you faster than almost anything else that I know I've done and get you to an income level that is from like a financial perspective. I guess it would put you in like the top 15 to 10% in the country from like income if you like ranked everybody from an income perspective. So that's kind of where I come from, and you guys have to know I'm going to be a little bit biased, so this conversation is definitely going to slant towards secondary education because obviously that's what I did in my life and that's what worked out for me. For those of you who are used to like the hauls and that kind of content on my channel, this is also something I'm into. So if this is not your thing, it's okay. You can click out of this one and I won't be offended. But with that being said, I definitely want to kind of get into this and I'm open to questions. If you have questions as we chat, comment them in the comment section. And for those of you who are watching this on replay, I'm going to do my best to repeat the question so that you know what people typed in the box because I know the comments in the comment section don't make it to the comment section of the video once it's uploaded. So I feel like that was a mouthful. Let's go ahead and get into it though. I do have like some talking points for this video that I wanted to kind of stick to and just kind of help format the discussion. But like I said, comment in the comment section and we will help to manage it. I got Crixus over here walking around with his long fingernails, so I gotta take this man to get his nails cut. But I say that to say, if you hear the clicking, that's him. I apologize. So anyways, so going to get your degree, is it worth it? So first I want to tackle that topic. And for most of you guys, I have my undergraduate degree in advertising and my MBA is in marketing and I have a sub-concentration in strategy. So I went to school to Michigan State University and at the time I think Michigan State was ranked like 20th, but the payback was awesome because from a financial perspective, I think in total I paid like $60,000 for the full 18 months. And between my first and second year, I was able to earn an income probably of like $25,000 over the summer. And that income is what you get on top of like your grants and other stuff that you get while you're in the program. So overall, had I taken that 20-something and applied it straight to what I was spending for school, which unfortunately I didn't. I had kids, my son, and my house and everything else to pay for. But had I would have only really had an expense of like $40K. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of perspective of like what my investment was. So I say that to say, going back to school got me a raise of about $40K per year after that. And that is just, in my opinion, really important. And I wanted to kind of mention that because when you're thinking about whether or not you want to go back to school, payback is really important. And for Michigan State, they always talk about like years to payback, or there's like a calculation they do to kind of come up with like an average payback ratio for people when they get their degree. So I wanted to just throw that out there because I think it's important when you're getting your degree, whether it be undergrad degree or whether it be your MBA, to ask questions from the program that you're considering around payback, around what type of jobs people got into, around the type of companies that hire from the program. You want to know the incomes they get, and if the school is not collecting that data, that should be a huge red flag. And I think that's important because at Michigan State, you can look like directly in a database and just kind of see what their tuition number, or excuse me, what their payback numbers are, the salaries that people get per industry. Like there's just a lot of really good data available at your fingertips to help you make a decision around if that's a fit. That data also was really helpful for me when I was getting when I graduated from my degree, because I was able to use that to negotiate for my salary. And I basically just told them, like, when I would get my offers, I would say, hey, this is, I see the offer here. However, I was thinking more like this, and this is why. And I would list, the reasons why I felt like I deserved a salary of the level that I was asking for. And then I would just like reference, the statistics from the school. So I'm talking so fast, I'm like out of breath. But yeah, I definitely think you got to do the research. You got to have the data, because data is king. And that is something that people say a lot in corporate, and it's true. The more data you have, the better able you are to make a decision. And I think that was so weird. The TV just came on. I don't know how the TV just came on, but it just came on. And is that one of y'all touching the remote? No, the remote is over there. That was so weird. But anyway, back to it. Back to the topic of discussion. So yeah, you got to get the data. Like you definitely have to understand, for whatever it is you're interested in, what the payback opportunity is. And I say that to say too, I had a really, really good friend of mine who got their undergraduate degree, graduated, and then found out that the degree that they got is one of those degrees that like funnels you into another degree. So meaning you get this degree and then you decide to go from there into something else. But the degree really wasn't a degree where you can come out and make really good money. So they were coming out and the jobs they were finding were only like $30,000, $35,000. And when you've just paid $40,000, $50,000 to get your undergraduate degree and getting a degree that's only worth $30,000 a year, that's going to be kind of like frustrating. It's going to make you feel frustrated because you're like, dang, I spent all this money and my payment to pay the loan back is almost going to be more than what I paid to get into the program. So definitely do your research and understand, like what you're going to end up being able to get, because I think understanding and having a really clear expectation is most important. And that's one thing we always say in sales is when you're selling to people is that you want to manage their expectations. You have to manage your own expectations, because then if you know going in what you're going to get, you're not going to be disappointed when you have a hard time getting a job for the income that you think you deserve. So do your research. Research. That is most important. That goes for anything you want to do. That goes for any job, any school, whatever you do, you always got to do your research. So that's the first thing I really wanted to leave with you guys. I'm going to kind of look through these comments so really quick, because I have to admit I haven't been looking at them. So let me see. Oh, thank you for the compliment on my hair. Just graduated, still working, not with degree. Yeah, that can be a challenge and really frustrating. But something I will say too that really worked out well for me, and I don't know if you guys are like really big into this, but check out the career fairs that happen, like the national career fairs. There's a huge career fair called National Black, and it's also the National Black MBA Association, and then there's National Hispanic MBA Association. Those associations have career fairs once a year, and they are huge. Like, I'm talking every Fortune 500 company in the country goes to these career fairs. They have a booth set up, and it's a perfect opportunity to interview for roles. It does cost money to go, so obviously you're going to have to pay for your hotel. You're going to have to pay to get a ticket to get in. Like, it's a for sure investment, but at the same time, you're going to be in the room with big companies. I'm talking Coca-Cola. I'm talking Target. And I'm not talking Target like at the, retail. I'm talking Target like the corporation Target. So you can go to those career fairs, and you can also research before the fair to see what jobs they're going to be looking for, what jobs are open on their website. And then when you go, you have an opportunity to literally talk to them right in person and have a face-to-face with them like you wouldn't be able to have had you just applied on the website. And those opportunities, I'm telling you guys, for me and my friends, were huge. It's how I got looked at for a lot of opportunities that I participated in, or companies that I was talking to and got offers from when I graduated from my program. And that's not just if you're an MBA. Also, they do look at people who are undergrads as well. And if you see a job on their website and you get in front of them at the fair, it's still an opportunity. So definitely check out those career fairs. I'm not sure if there's other undergraduate degree career fairs, but just look, do your research and see, because that's something I think a lot of times we forget about, and it's a huge opportunity. The other thing I want to mention is not just career fairs like national career fairs by associations, but also at your undergrad degree or at undergrad program or undergrad school. Like, I used to go back to Michigan State even after I graduated, like a couple years later, and I would go to these fairs and I would go in front of the recruiting companies. That's actually how I got my first job at Pfizer. Was I went down to the Michigan State undergrad career fair, and I had been graduated for a couple years. Excuse me. And I was able to interview with Pfizer, and I got a job with them right away by literally going to that career fair. So, go back to the school you graduated from and leverage the resources at that school to make sure that they're helping you if you're having trouble getting a degree at the, in the function or in the role that you got your degree in. So make them work. Like, that's what they took your money for. So go back, make them work. Ask them for help for sure. Okay, let me just go back through. Oh, it's senior night at the Breslin. Oh yeah, have fun. But I appreciate you hopping in here. Perfect topic. This is what I'm contemplating right now. Oh, that's good to hear. Am I still mentoring? It is really hard for me to mentor right now just because with my current schedule, I work like 40 hours a week plus, and I commute 2 hours a day. That's an hour each way. And then at nighttime, I have my kids and got to cook dinner, and then YouTube, and then I'm working on getting my certification for project management right now. So I don't have a lot of time, and it's kind of hard to balance, like, even replying to emails and stuff like that. But I will say, if you guys have questions and it's something that I could answer like on a general basis by doing like a video, definitely send the message to me. Or I try to be really good on email, but sometimes it takes me a couple days to get back. But whenever I get an email, I do file it so I don't forget. And as most of you guys know, if you've emailed me, I typically will get back to you. It just may take me a little while. And that's just because I'm busy. I'm so crazy busy. I've never been this busy in my whole life. All right. Let's see. Can I talk about how I got my Lexis and credit score and payments? Yeah, I could. I did a video a long time ago talking about purchasing a car, and I do kind of struggle sometimes with those type of videos just because my personality, I'm an obsessive personality around certain things. So like my bills, I obsess about paying my bills on time and stuff like that. I kind of obsess about my money. I obsess about YouTube and like my statistics and like playing YouTube like a game. There's certain things where like I'm really like motivated on. And when it comes to like stuff like that, it's kind of hard because sometimes it's hard for me to process everything I've done to do a certain thing like that. And I just really struggle. And then I feel like I do those videos and like, I don't know, they don't really do that well. But I do have that old one if you want to go back and look. Yeah, I just don't know what I would say. Okay, let me see real quick. I'm gonna read some more. Uh, oh, congratulations. It says, I'm in an MBA program currently, will graduate in the fall. Do wonder if you'll be able to utilize it in Texas. Yes, that can be hard. Because I know, like, where I live at, sometimes I think about, like, man, if I decided I wanted to look at other opportunities, I probably would have to move, and that's challenging. So I can definitely feel your pain for sure. Yeah, okay. Hello, hello. Thank you. Thanks for checking in. Um, let's see. Up, up, raise to. Okay, sorry. I'm just looking through these comments, y'all. Apologies, apologies. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Um, did I go into marketing or related field after getting my MBA in marketing? So actually, kind of no. I ended up going back to school for marketing, like I told you guys, and then I took a job in a rotational program. So I actually decided to go into this rotational program because I wanted to get experience in multiple functions, and I felt like doing that would really help me polish myself as being able to really do anything. And it was something I was actually on live on Instagram. I think it might have been like 2 days ago. And I was just like ranting a little bit about, is a degree worth it? And I was saying, for me, I have been able to work in a lot of functions. I have experience in finance, marketing, supply chain. Right now I do project management. I've also worked in quality, and I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, in marketing. I forgot marketing, I think. So I've worked in marketing. However, of all the things I've done, now I'm doing project management, and the project management I'm doing is more. I'm working on a project at my company that's like a bigger strategic project. So it's not specifically marketing, but it's kind of like close to it. And it's close enough so when I get done, I could go into marketing and leverage everything I've done to be able to manage a brand because I've basically done everything. So it would actually be really easy for me to start a business at this point because I have touched so many functions. But technically, I did go into marketing, but I've had a lot of different stops along the way in my career. Okay. Currently finishing up your BA, contemplating going straight into master's or waiting to go back? That's a tricky question. A lot of times MBA programs, especially if you decide to go to a really high ranked program, they will only accept so many people who don't have career experience after their undergraduate degree. Sometimes if they do pick people, they're going to end up picking people who have really, really high test scores, really, really great internship experience. So I think, in my opinion, and I do just because of all the different conversations I've had with people who've gotten their MBA, I just think it's really worth it to make sure you go to a program that's ranked really well and does a very good job at placing people in jobs after they get the role. And then, definitely ask that question around how many people they accept that are coming straight from undergrad. I know at Michigan State, our class size was typically about 100. It was like 80 to 100. And they would only accept one or two people per year. And I think each class had like one person that had come straight from undergrad into the program. And one of the girls, she actually ended up going to work for Google after she graduated. So if you go to a program that is ranked pretty high, it may be harder to come straight from your undergrad. And I will say, just from my experience going into getting my MBA, I felt like it was easier to learn what they were teaching me with the experience that I had after undergrad and then getting into that program. So what I mean by that is when you're in class and they're asking questions or you're doing case studies and you have experience to pull from, it's really helpful if you have actually worked versus you're just kind of going with what you think it's like after college, but you've never really experienced it. So I would say, and I even told my brother this, like, I even think, like, even if it's only a year or 2 years, do that. But on average, most people who go to a program that's ranked pretty high typically have about 5 years of experience before they go to get their MBA. And I just think it really helps you if you do. And it also is going to help you compete when you're going for a job, because the jobs that companies are posting for people who have an MBA are typically jobs where they're going to be asking for that type of experience. And you don't want to graduate and have spent all that money on a degree and then end up only being able to get a job that isn't going to pay you what you're worth. Like, I would hate to see someone spend $60,000 to $100,000 on an MBA and only be able to land a job making $50,000. Like, you should be coming out of an MBA program making anywhere from $90,000 to $110,000, $120,000, $130,000, depending on what company you go to and what role you go into. So I do think it's helpful to have some time in a full-time job after your BA, just so you can like really set yourself up for success. Okay, let me look. Oh, that's cool. So some of you guys are a part of the National Black MBA Association. That's dope. Da, da, da. Yes, this live, I will save this live public so you guys can watch it after. So there was a question that said, will this live be saved? A lot of times I make my lives go unlisted. And I actually, if you guys check my playlist, I have a playlist for my live chats and they're all in there. I just put them as unlisted and they're not in the timeline because I'm like, I don't know, I'm a weirdo. I'm like organizing my videos like I organize like books. So you can check for that playlist if you want to watch my lives, as well as this one will be available on the timeline. Let's see. Studying for project management too. Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations and good luck. It's hard though. I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting here studying and I'm like, my eyes are going crossed and it's crazy. I'm scared, but I'm going to have to pass this for sure because it was a big investment. Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going back through these comments. Apologies. Yeah, internships. Should you do an internship? I think internships are a really, really good idea because they give you some experience for your resume, as well as if you're looking to get into a certain company and you know that's where you may be interested in working when you graduate, it can help you get your foot in the door. So I definitely think internships are for sure a really great thing to do. In undergrad, I didn't do any internships and I kind of regret that, but I also was kind of a weirdo where I wanted to work so bad, so I actually went to school every summer. And I was able to graduate from my undergrad in like 3.5 years from doing that. So I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. It did help me when I would interview and I would throw that out there though, because they would always be like, ooh. So that was that's a weird fun fact about me. But I do think doing internships is for sure a great thing because I know it helped a lot of people, a lot of my friends get to opportunities that they wouldn't have been able to, or they really were able to sell themselves because they did that. So, yeah. All right. Let me see real quick. Okay, so if someone is working and intends to get their MBA, do they need to quit their job to pursue their education? So, no, you don't have to. There's actually programs where you can go to school and work at the same time. However, I am biased. So when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to go to school for my MBA, or if I wanted to do it full time, or if I wanted to do it in conjunction with my full-time job and do it like at night or on the weekends, I decided to go full time because I felt like it was really going to position me for the jobs that I wanted to get afterwards. I feel like the full-time programs are really putting you in a position because of the way they're structured, the way that they interact with full-time, or I guess you'd say companies, to try to get people placed. Like it's like a machine, you know, when they have these people come into the program, especially when you're talking about these programs that are really high ranked, they're getting students to come in and the whole time they're working with companies trying to place people. And it's like a machine. But for programs where you're doing your regular job and you're doing the undergrad, a lot of times people get their degree and they plan on like staying at their current company. And I feel like you have a chance where you may not be able to push yourself as far and really take advantage of the investment that you've made. Not to say you can't, and not to say you can't get hired, but it was definitely easier for me to compete against people, even at Michigan State. because there were people who were going part-time, and then there's those of us who were going full-time. And I felt like for us full-times, it was easier to compete against the people who were going part-time, just because we were like right in the employer's faces. So I know every school is different, but this is just kind of like my perspective. And you guys also definitely, everything I'm saying, like, take with a grain of salt, because like I told you guys, I have gone this path. So because it really did work out, I'm gonna be biased, and I wear that bias like on my sleeves. Like, you guys, I just want you to know, like, I've seen it work out for a lot of my friends, and most of my friends that I still communicate with now all went through the same either type of programs as I did or the same program that I did. So that's my bias, but you don't have to go full time, but it definitely, in my opinion, can really help pay off if you do. Yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna real quick go through. PMP is very IT focused and very waterfall. Let's see. What do you think about having a master's in healthcare? I think that can be good, especially nowadays. Like, healthcare is booming. So yeah, that definitely, especially like for hospitals or, anything to do with insurance companies, like, it definitely would be a great, degree program to go into. Let's see, about to run. Alrighty. Ba, ba, ba. How was the hiatus perceived by hiring employees? It's just standard. Everybody knows that that's what happens, and nobody blinks. Like, literally, when you're in the program, you're interviewing the whole time to figure out what your final job's going to be. When you're in your first year, you're interviewing for your internship. And then once you get your internship, you lock that down, and then you focus on school for the rest of the year. And then when you come into your second year, you're making a decision if you want to go work for the company that you did your internship with, or if you want to look for a new company to take your full-time job. And like I said, it's kind of like a machine. So companies know that this is how it works. There's certain time frames that are set up and established where they know, like, okay, we can talk to students here at this point, or we can't talk to students. So it's a machine, and companies are pretty comfortable with like what it looks like, as well as most of the time they have schools that they like, that they work with, and with those schools they'll already have those relationships established where they know when to interface with students. So yeah, it doesn't really affect you at all. Yeah, that's true. Some degrees you don't need to get your MBA. That's for sure. That's why I think of all the things, the one thing I was saying in the beginning is, like, you got to do your research. So if you research and you understand like what it is you're going into, you're going to know what to expect, and you're going to know what you can get from a financial perspective. You're going to know what you're going to be doing every day. Like, those are the things you're going to want to research so you can understand, because for what I went into with business, getting my MBA was very beneficial. But for other people in other functions or other, specialties, that may not be the case. So definitely, like, this is coming from somebody who is business focused and has worked in business my whole career in some form or fashion. But definitely, like I said, research is the most important thing. Like, when I was saying earlier, like, research. That is the most important thing you can do for yourself, for sure. Yeah, that's true. That is true. With the MBA program, so this is coming from simply nay underscore 28. She said, with an executive program, you may be able to get tuition reimbursement from your organization. And that is very, very true. I actually, at the time when I decided to go back, I was working for Merck Pharmaceuticals, and they did have a tuition reimbursement program. The only reason why I decided not to go that route was because if you do those programs, a lot of times you end up being in a contract with your employer where, because you accepted that money, you have to work for them for so long before you could decide to go somewhere else. So I kind of felt like if I did that, it would be harder if I, let's just say, decided that I really wanted to go into a different industry or a different job or a different company a year or so later. I felt like it was going to be harder for me to do that then versus right when I'm in the program and those companies are like going after the students right there. So I made that decision, as well as I knew for corporate, I was in pharmaceutical sales. So to go into corporate, I would have to move because the corporate offices weren't where I was located. I actually, at the time, I think I lived in like Michigan. So I was like, okay, I'm not about to move to New York. So that was, some of the things that I played into the equation. Bye. Have a good one. Yeah. So, like I said, do your research. And you guys, y'all know I'm biased. This is like, you know, what I believe, but it's not. I see these dogs back here. Y'all gotta apologize. Lola in the corner. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm biased, so I'm putting that out there. I want you guys to know that. But at the same time, I also really want to like emphasize, like, don't ever let somebody put the blanket statement out there that a degree is worthless, because if I had not gotten my degrees, it probably would have taken me a really long time to be at the income level that I'm at. And that's just because I know how I am. I know how I am as a person. And I'm not as comfortable with risk as other people may be, going into like an entrepreneurial type job. So I feel like it would have taken me a lot longer to get to the level I'm at. So an MBA for me, an undergrad for me, was like a shortcut to getting here. Whereas for other people, people go in and they start their own business and they're able to make different kinds of moves. Those are opportunities at work too, but I just really want to, like, I guess, make a key takeaway from this live, that a degree does not have to be a waste of money. If you do your research and if you plan and you think about how you're going to pay for it and you have a good plan to pay back if you decide to take loans, it can be a game changer for you. And for me, now, like in the past, it would have taken me 20 years to make $1 million unless I was able to make some big move to shortcut that. But now I make $1 million every 8 or 9 years. So it's kind of like, that's where you think about like your earning potential, and it made my lifetime earning potential greater by being able to do that. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Do you guys have other questions? Let me just kind of look back through these comments. How important do I think GPA is when getting hired for jobs? That depends. For some degrees, it's really important. For others, it's not. I think for undergrad, I think it's a little bit more important. But when I got my MBA, nobody asked. I think the only company that asked was Google, and that wasn't a company I was interested in. But some companies do, but I think it's like technology or more science-based. For me, I don't think I ever put my GPA on an application, and I never really had a problem. But I do think it depends on what your degree is that you go into. And others, if you guys have this experience where you had to put your degree for certain specialties, comment in the comment section, because I definitely would be interested to hear. But for my experience, I've never really had to do it. Or companies that was asking for it, I was like, or they say their degree requirement or GPA requirement. Like, I think Google, the requirement was like a 3.8. I was like, oh yeah, we not gonna even apply over there. I'm like, nope, I'm cool, because I didn't have a 3.8. So, yeah, definitely. You said you have a degree in procrastination. You silly. What's up, Dre? Random question, how old am I? You're not supposed to ask a female how old she is. I'm just playing. I am 35. So, yes, I'm in my mid-30s. Hopefully I look like I'm about 25 or something, be trying to keep the crow's feet at bay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true, because you definitely do have to maintain a good degree to stay in. Yeah, because I know there was like one person who I think got kicked out of the program. I was like, oh, I would be hurt. Spend all that money and you get kicked out. Oh, no, no, no. I would be too hurt. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the comments. So, yeah. Long after I graduated did I get my offer? Um, from undergrad or for MBA? From MBA, I actually had an offer before I graduated. So I think I got my offer in December and I graduated in May. So I was able to, like, schedule my start date and all that good stuff. And, I wanted that coin. So I think I started like right after because I wanted that money, that check. Oh, my throat is so dry. Hello, hello. You're in IT. Am I using my MBA? Yes, I am. How old was I when I finished my MBA? I think I was like 30. Most of the people in the program were 30. Yeah. We're like around 30. I think there was like one guy that might have been like mid 30s. But in my program, most people were um, like around 30. Excuse me. I don't have my glass of wine tonight, so my little throat is dry. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay, wait, I'm just looking at these comments, y'all. So, yeah, that's kind of like my rant. Oh, I also wanted to tell you guys, I do have a vlog channel that I just started. So, if you guys like my vlogs, all of the vlogs are located over there. I think I've only got 2 posted right now, but I'm about to edit one tonight from going to try on wedding dresses this weekend. So that was kind of fun. And then I have some other stuff that I just need to like get to and post. And then it was something else I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, I know what it was. I'm going to be also answering questions around pharmaceutical sales on my Facebook channel. And I wanted to do that over there on Facebook because I feel like that's very specific. And I've had there's like a certain population on YouTube that is here because of my pharmaceutical sales video, but it's not a ton of people. So I wanted to just do that over there so that I can focus on making sure I answer all the questions and giving the advice that I think would be helpful for that over there on Facebook. Excuse me. Yes, student loans are depressing. Oh my goodness. I'm still paying my little MBA back. And every time I make that payment, I'll be like, dang, that could be another Lexus. But it's all good. Couple more years and I'll be done. Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. Ebony says she's 39, working on master's in human resource management and wishes she'd done it sooner. Yes, that's what my brother said he wants to go into. And it's actually what prompted me to be like, let me get online and do this live real quick, because that's a really good specialty to go into, especially having your MBA or your master's. For sure. Hey. Welcome, 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 welcome to the live. Oh wow, you said your ex will pay for her loans for the rest of her life. Woo, man. Yeah, these loans, man, that's crazy. Yeah, nobody wants to do that. What happened with my car accident? Oh my goodness, y'all. Let me tell you about what happened with my car accident. So most of you guys know I got in a car accident back in December. It was like December 21st or 22nd, something like that. And my car, they did not total the car. So I got the car back this past weekend and they ended up doing like $22,000 worth of work on the car. So I'm so surprised they didn't total the car out. Like, normally you would think for that much damage they would have totaled the car out, but I guess looking at the value of the car, they were like, no, we gonna go ahead and fix this and give it back to you. So they did end up having to fix it, but I had to come out the pocket because my benefit for rental car only went up to $600 and I had to pay the difference. So that was crazy. I was so hurt. I was hurt. So if you guys saw a couple sponsored videos this month, it's because I had to pay that little payment to Enterprise. And then I was driving my car and a rock hit the window and cracked the window of the rental car, and I had to pay that out of pocket. So yeah, I was hurt. I still actually have to pay that bill right now. So the video I did yesterday, that's gonna pay for that windshield. So hopefully y'all understand for sure. You said you finished? Having a hard time finding a job, looking to make a transition into data analysis. Do I have any suggestions? Man, Well, I'd have to kind of think about that because, like, that's kind of a toughie only because I think there's lots of opportunity in data analysis. I will say one thing you may want to look at is companies who do, what are they called? Contract employee. I actually have a contract employee that works for me, and contract work can be very, very lucrative. You typically will make more money than, well, sometimes you can make more money than you would if you were just working full time with your benefits, but you will have to still buy benefits. So it's kind of a catch 22, but at the same time there's usually a lot of opportunity with contract work, and a lot of corporations throughout the nation hire from contract companies and hire like thousands of people. So I would definitely say like look at contract companies, and it's something that I honestly really didn't know much about until I got to my current job and just seeing people come in on contract. But definitely looking at like contract work, because that may also be a great way to get into companies that you wouldn't have been able to get into easier, without going that route. But I would definitely say like try that. Oh, you said you meant MBA. You finished your MBA. Yeah, again, I would still say look at that. Look at contract for sure. But don't let that be like your stopping point. But one thing I said earlier that also, if you get your MBA from a program and you're having trouble, I would go back to them and tell them like, "Hey, I'm having trouble." And have them work for you. Like have them help explain to you what companies they work with and what opportunities you should be looking at, and help give you some strategies to get a job, because at the end of the day you paid them a lot of money, and not just to teach you the curriculum, but there should also be that advisor component with your program that should be able to get you kind of started. And most schools work with companies, so that would be like my best advice is look at some contract opportunities. Also, like just get on Google. When I was going back to school and trying to find my current job, one thing I did is I thought about industries I was interested in, and I would just be like, Google top 20 medical device companies, top 20 pharmaceutical companies. And I would get that list and I would go to their website, and I literally would just, let's just say for an evening, sit in front of the TV, and I would go through their job description or career site and just look at opportunities and just apply. And it takes a lot of time to do that, but at the same time, you get a lot of opportunities that you may not have had you just looked at like those job boards where people post. Because a lot of times the jobs on the career sites may not make it all the way there. The other thing that I think people don't utilize a lot is LinkedIn. LinkedIn can be a great way to get connected with HR people as well as other people within companies that can help get you in front of the right people. People reach out to me all the time asking me advice for interviews at my company, or they'll be like, "Hey, Kristen, I'm a fellow Spartan. Can you give me some advice about your company, blah, blah, blah." And, it just kind of starts like an open door for them. So leverage your LinkedIn account. If you don't, like, your LinkedIn should be more updated than your Facebook. Like, if you're not working in updating your LinkedIn and managing your LinkedIn just like you manage your Facebook, then you're doing yourself an injustice. And it's just one of those things where it's really important, and it can definitely help open up some doors that you may not have had open had you not had your profile updated. So definitely take advantage of LinkedIn, and also get people to recommend you on LinkedIn. Like leverage all of the tools LinkedIn has, because that's going to help your profile rank better. And when you rank better on your profile, it helps you make better connections on the website. And I'm not saying you have to pay for that premium service either, but just like leverage the tools that they have for sure, because I'm not paying for no premium nothing. Except PicMonkey. I use PicMonkey to make my thumbnails, and that's the only premium service I pay anything extra for. But definitely update your LinkedIn account as well, because that's something a lot of people don't do, and that can help you get so many opportunities that you wouldn't have gotten had you not done that. One other thing I wanted to mention. So I got a lot of videos from people on the channel, and I'm going to be creating a new, not intro for my channel, but it's going to be like the trailer is what they call it. And the trailer is what people, like new people who are not subscribed to my channel, see when they get on my landing page. So I'm working on that right now, but I want it to be really good. So I'm taking my time, but I wanted to just update you guys because I know some of you, has sent me videos, and you're probably like, dang girl, where that video? When are you gonna put it up? So I just wanted to give you guys that update too. But before we close down, comment if you have other questions. Also, if you're in this live, it would really help me out a lot if you guys would hit the like button. I really want the videos like this. I'm so passionate about this type of content. And as you guys know, like hauls, they do really well. They're searchable. Everybody's watching Fashion Nova videos. Everybody's watching topics that are trending. But topics like this, a lot of times, don't get pushed out on YouTube because it's not what people are searching. Like, people may not be thinking about this unless there's an actual need. So if you guys can help me out by hitting the like button, it may help somebody else who's on my channel get exposed to this. And also, like I said, comment if you guys have other questions before we go, because I want to make sure I can answer your questions while I'm on here on the live. Oh, the other thing, make sure y'all check out Dre's channel. Dre had done a reaction to one of my videos, and he is so funny. So go check Dre out. It's Dre OG Reacts. And you can just search on YouTube, and it'll pop up. Dre is hilarious. Y'all got to check him out. Definitely support him, too. You will not be disappointed. He's like one of the channels where I watch when I need something funny, to get me through my day. Like, so a lot of times I do my makeup and I just like catch up on his videos. So definitely check him out, support him. He's a really cool brother, and he's doing some good stuff over on his channel. But let's see. Yeah. So I see there was a question about please sub us. So I have to just warn you guys, when you make comments about asking to subscribe or asking questions like that on YouTube, those questions get flagged, and you don't want YouTube to flag your account. So be really careful about having those questions in comment sections on YouTube, because you don't want YouTube to flag your account as spam, because if they do that, they're not going to promote you like they would. So I just wanted to give you guys that advice, because if you want to ask those kind of questions, try to do them on like Instagram or an email or something like that. Because if you do it on YouTube and you do it to multiple accounts, you may get flagged. So I just want to give you guys that little bit of advice, because I don't want y'all to get flagged at all. Because YouTube, the data perspective on YouTube, YouTube is a data company. So they're taking every little piece of data and they're leveraging it. And that was like the one biggest thing, I think, once I started to understand how it worked, that helped me grow my channel and help me connect with more people. So definitely, look at some of that. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and you're very welcome. So yeah. Okay, you said you're subscribed to Dre. Yes, he is hilarious. He always just cracks me up. Like, every time I watch his videos, I be crying, laughing, and he's done so well on YouTube. He is for sure like somebody where I'm always taking notes. Like, yo, this brother's good. He replies to all his comments. He shouts his people out. Like, he just is doing a great job. So make sure y'all tell Dre I shouted him out at the end of the video. Go and tell him, like, yes, Kristen shouted you out. So he knows, we giving some love over here. But no, looking to move out of teaching and into sales. How do you market your transferable skills? Ooh, that's a really good question. Okay, so why don't we end the live on that question? So basically the question is around transferring your skills. I would say, and this goes for any specialty, any job that you're in, and you're trying to do a transition. Like, sometimes it's easy, it may be even easier to take a piece of paper, right? Put your job that you have over on the left and put the job that you want over on the right. And it's usually easier if you can grab the job description of the job that you're interested in, or like an example, because maybe you're not going to grab all of them. But grab an example of the description of what you're interested in. And then if you can, get the job description of what your job is. Take the jobs and just kind of look at like the differences between the two. So for sales, they're going to talk about good interpersonal skills, things like being able to manage your business, being good with data, what else are they going to be? I already said communicator. Trying to think what other things in sales are like really good. But anyway, let's just focus on those things. So then let's just talk about like, okay, you're a teacher. So as a teacher, you have to have really good communication skills because you have to be able to communicate whatever it is you're trying to teach to your students. So that skill is transferable right there. Also, to become a teacher, there's a lot that you have to go through from an education perspective. So right there, that's huge. You can be able to explain that from a technical perspective. You're able to take information and digest it, and then you have to turn around and take what you learn and digest it and communicate it in a way that's going to be effective for the person that you're communicating it to. If you're selling something, it's the same thing. I need to be able to take all of the details and the benefits of whatever it is I'm selling and communicate it to the person I'm trying to get to purchase whatever it is that I'm selling. So I need that buyer to understand the benefits, the pros, and the cons, but I need to be able to do it in a way that's meaningful to them. It's the same thing. It's basically the same exact thing. The same skills that you're using in being a teacher are the same things you have to do to sell, because as a teacher, I need to sell people on being able to understand, that this is important to them, and I need them to be able to grasp and have their mind buy into what it is I'm saying. So I think, you have to kind of like sometimes take a step back, but for me, the easiest way to process is to kind of go through steps like what I just walked you guys through. And if you haven't done that before, and you guys also have to know, like, I grew up in sales, and Pfizer was like, they consider themselves to be number one in sales, which I think every sales company probably says that. But they had a really methodical process that you would go through, and it was very similar to what I just explained. So write down what it is you currently do, what are the skill sets needed, and then look at what they say you need for whatever role you're trying to get into, and literally just focus on bridging the gap. And if you have to just write it out, like, how does this transform to that? How does this transform to this one? And just kind of go through that process. Then you'll be able to, effectively communicate why you're a fit for the position. And that's for any job. Like, you always want to just close the gap. Be able to communicate to the person that's hiring why you should be able to fit into that role. And if looking at your resume, it's hard to make those connections, create your cover letter and make sure you explain all of that stuff in your cover letter. And that's okay. Like, write your cover letter and be thorough in it, but also use the keywords from the job description in your cover letter so that when they search you in the computer, because, a lot of times they're using these scanning programs or software, make sure that you've got those keywords in there so that they're going to pull your resume and be able to read it. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Target starts at $15 an hour, so why go to college and spend $200K? Well, one, college didn't cost me $200K, and two, if you can go work at Target and make $15 an hour, but you also can make an investment of, let's just say, $60 and get your MBA and come out making, let's just say, okay, let's see what that is. So we're gonna calculate this right now because I'm not good with this. We're gonna say $100,000 a year divided by 52 weeks. So that's $1,900 a week divided by 40. That's $48 an hour. So you can go get your MBA and make $48 an hour, or you can make $15 at Target. So that's $33 more per hour that you would make going to get your MBA. So let's just see, $15 an hour times 40 times 52, that's $31,000 a year. So that's a difference of about $69,000. So if you go to school and get your MBA in 1 year, you paid for it. You already made your money back. So then you take that additional, what do we say it is? $69,000. $69,000, you're probably going to work another 30 years. So $69,000 times 30, you've just made an additional $2 million in your lifetime working and getting an MBA than if you had worked at Target. So that's kind of some of the analysis that you have to do, and that's what I encourage you guys to do. And that's when I was talking earlier about research, is why, like, if you do the research, always have the data. Like, don't make any decision for your life without putting the data in front of you and writing out your pros and your cons and calculating and doing things like that so you can really evaluate the true value of whatever decision you're trying to make. And that's why I just want to, like, really drive home, whatever degree you decide to get, make sure you manage your perspectives. And that's another key point that I was talking about earlier, is like managing your expectation is actually what I said. Managing your expectation, because if you know going in, this is what you're going to be able to get, then the data is the data. So when they say this is what people get, typically that's going to be about what you get. So I just want to like throw that out there. And this is, again, I told you guys I'm biased, so y'all know this is coming from somebody who went that route. Going back to get my undergraduate degree, I think when I first started, I was making like around like 50 or 60. So just, do your research. And hopefully you guys, like, that's the key point. Like, walk away with that. I don't want you guys to all feel like, oh my God, I gotta go get my MBA. That's not what I'm saying, but definitely do your research for sure. So I guess with that, I'm going to let you guys go because we've almost been on here for a whole hour, and that's a really, really long time. But if you came on this video at the end, you can go back and watch it because I will be leaving this up. It probably is going to take about an hour to process, so it may not be available right away, but it should be available probably at like an hour at like 9 o'clock Eastern time or something like that. So anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you for coming in this video. I hope you got something out of it. And on the way out, if you wouldn't mind helping your girl out by hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.